And you might have noticed the bumper is not on because I'm busy with the intercooler system again, dude. So over here we've got the stock one. So you can see this one had a punch of a life. You guys probably did see one of my previous videos where I actually removed this one and I installed this one over here. So this one is absolutely thick. Just look at this. Hold up. I think you'll get like a much better comparison when I put them next to each other. Just, that is insane. That is like literally, I don't know how many percentage bigger, but even look at the length. So the pipes, even if we have to move it up a bit, like plus minus, but you can see it's longer here and it's longer there, and the pipe length and everything is the same. So that is really beefy. So now you guys are probably thinking, dude, you just installed this intercooler and by looking at it, your bumper is off in that and everything, even the crash bar is off. Like, I wonder why. Can I show you guys? Let's roll it in here. This is why. Just look at how massive this box is. So let me quickly go ahead and unbox it and just show you guys. And yes, I did have a peek. That's why there is a different kind of masking tape on it. Really impressive though. And I mean, this intercooler, it's rolling. Anyway, let's go ahead and open it up. So let's open this flap over here. Oh my gosh. This is like, I've always dreamed to have like one of these intercoolers. I just didn't think I was ever gonna buy one, especially because they're pretty expensive. But I got it locally. That makes it even more shocking. And then also, before I remove it, I got it locally, and it's actually a really freaking cool intercooler. So here we go. You can't see much, eh? You can't see much. Let's kind of like unwrap it a bit. Quickly. Gotta do it quickly. And jeez, like you guys can see it already. It is absolutely massive. So it comes with two silicone pipes with some clamps. That is, there it is over there. Sorry guys, I'll get a good video of the intercooler just now. Just quickly want to clean up a bit. Here is the clamps, and these are like nice proper solid clamps, but I mean, just look at that is humongous. So this intercooler is rated for 600 horsepower. So you can just see, I mean, like, yeah, we'll remove it now and compare it to the other ones, but this is like my hand. Just to give you guys an idea of how big it is. Let me quickly remove it. I'm gonna put it next to those ones over there so you can just get a better visual. Just look at that. Look at the difference already. You can get a better visual reputation. Yeah, whatever. Let's do it. Okay, so here's the stock one. Here's the upgraded 3-liter V60. Check this thing out. Oh my gosh, that is massive. That's like, I'm not joking. If I have to put it like on it, it's like 3 of these like stock basic intercoolers that can fit on it. This thing is massive and it is super heavy. So as it's supposed to be a direct clip-in and all of that kind of stuff. Then you can actually like bolt it down and that. So yes, and then let's quickly go to the front of the car just to show you guys. So this is basically how the car looks like without it. So over here you can see is a pipe. So this pipe will be removed. It goes there into the turbo. When you go to the other side, so there's the pipe. So this charge pipe is going to actually stay there. So we're just going to basically just make the loop into the intercooler, the new intercooler that will sit over here. So as you guys can see, I even removed the crash bar. The crash bar is over there. I spray painted it black. I could see how many people get hate for not spraying that black. So anyway, I actually just like took the intercooler by hand and basically just like held it here to see how it's gonna fit in that. So it looks like it's got those kind of clips that basically just gonna like lock in here and lock in there, which is good, which is great. I'm just gonna have to remove this bolt. There we go. I didn't tighten that and just like kind of put it in there. Oops, the guys didn't hear or see that. Oh, my new resprayed freaking crash bar. Anyway, so the intercooler does go up pretty high. So I'm going to see where all the, because there is bolts, you're going to actually have to tighten to the new intercooler. It's on the other side if you flip it around. So what I can tell you guys is I've got a feeling that they're actually going to go in here. I might be incorrect, but I've just got a quick idea of the visual inspection that I did. And then also, if you look at this, your aircon pressure sensor or whatever this is, I know it's part of the aircon system, is basically like in the way. So don't worry, actually in the intercooler there's a groove, and I'll show you guys that actually has like a cup that it can actually go into, which is actually pretty darn cool. So what I'll do is, in that case, I'll probably just get some double-sided tape and then like just stick it on here. I know it's gonna sound so stupid, and why would you do something like that? But it's like, I just don't want it to scrape my new intercooler, you know. And it's just gonna get all of these yummy bugs off. Some what do you call it? Some dinner for tonight. And then the other problem that I see that's gonna give us a problem is these brackets. I'm not sure what the brackets are for. Maybe it's for like an additional cooler or something that basically just goes and clips in here, but my car clearly doesn't have it. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take a grinder and grind these ones off, so I can literally see when I do put it in here that it is basically gonna touch, so they are gonna be in the way. So what we can maybe do, instead of grinding them off, I wonder if I can like just bend them up. I don't want to bend them up and hurt the fins. Also, to get these pop rivets, to get them out, is gonna be very difficult. I don't want to like strip and then damage the thing or something on the source. I was just thinking of just like cutting them off. I think you can also like probably like bend it if you want to. Just don't want to do any damage. I'll rather do damage to the bracket than do damage to the condenser. Just like regas the car as well. So we got to do something with these clips, and then the intercooler will fit in properly. Okay, so let me quickly grind them off. I'm gonna grind them off. Screw that. I'm gonna grind them off, and then yeah, we're gonna see how it fits in here. And there's something cool about the intercooler as well that I want to show you guys. Okay, so chop, and chop. So I'm gonna take like file and just kind of like smoothen it out and make it nicer. Yeah, let's get dinner ready, guys. Okay, so it's getting a bit windy. The weather is picking up. So I just quickly want to show you guys something about the intercooler that I did tell you guys I want to show you. That I absolutely love about the intercooler, and they didn't advertise it. Check this out. I hope it's this side. Do you guys see that? So this is something they call FDS. So if you do look on the inside, the bottom part, you can actually see the part of the intercooler going up. And then you actually have this part where you cannot see the rest of the intercooler. So basically what happens is, because of the angle, so this is like a metal piece that actually comes up here and like angles upwards. So as the boost comes in, and let's say the boost goes in below, it will go straight through the intercooler. But because of the curve of the metal, some of that air might actually like be vacuumed upwards and trying to get more air into this middle section of the intercooler. And then all the air that actually goes up here on the right hand side, let's see if I can focus a bit, going up here on the right hand side, as you guys can see, it just basically like stops somewhere over here. That basically just like kind of deflects more air going upwards, like routing it to go up and spread over the whole intercooler. And that's why FDS, and that's what this thing is called. FDS is actually such a good thing, is instead of just having this massive hole where the air comes easily in here, remember, the air is very lazy, so the air will come in here, it will stay at the bottom and like just go out over there. So this is actually to divert some of the air, to spread over the whole intercooler, so you don't just use 30% of the intercooler, but rather like 100% of the intercooler. So I'll also drop like a, I think I'm probably going to drop it while we're speaking, but like a small video of explaining you how the FDS really works. Also, so here is the gap that I talked about for that aircon sensor. So it just fits in perfectly over there. Kind of amazing, eh? This is like, this looks so darn good. So I didn't build it in yet. I'm trying to still find out how to do it and all that kind of stuff. And let me show you the contraption that I've got with the brackets. But this thing is massive. Just, oh, look at that. I mean, the crash bar does take like up so much space. But anyway, so I've got these like Z-shaped brackets. So this was like the best I could have figured out what it's for. Yeah, then obviously we can like push it kind of a bit back and maybe put another, what do you call it, like a bolt or something there. Yeah, just because now it's currently, no, it's actually kind of tilting a little bit, not too much though. So this is basically what I came up on. And then like even over here is the same. So I was even thinking of like just cutting there so that this bolt doesn't like sit on top. So what I did was made some two lines with a screwdriver just to know that where it's positioned. And over here, as you can see there. Also did it to know like where it's positioned, so that obviously if I take it off now, I can just take this bracket and just place it there where those lines is, and basically tighten it. How I'm gonna get a bolt in there on that side, I've got absolutely no way of knowing. Like it has to go in there. So obviously, like I said, it can go a little bit backwards. It's gonna give some room, which is a good thing though. And then yeah, I can just put like a bolt or something over there, and then yeah, just screw it in here. So I got bolts for these ones, so I'll make a plan. And obviously what makes it kind of nice is like I can adjust a bit forward and backwards in that case. So yeah, now it's take everything off again. Also, wait, sorry. I also wanted to say one thing. So the problem is, other thing that I was thinking of, like there's the bracket. Like look at this whole way. I like won't even be able to get my hand. My hand is like, here it is, like right over there somewhere. It has to get over there. So I don't know how I'm gonna get a bolt in there. I'm gonna have to think of something. I would have actually imagined if I had to weld it, that would be better. Only problem is that I just don't know how to weld. But yeah, if I had to weld it there, it would have actually been so much better. Wow, that's actually a great idea. Oh, this was really difficult, but they're on. Just look at that, and look at that. So there's a welder. I've got a drill somewhere there. I've got a grinder somewhere over there. Yeah, turns out the best way to get these ones on was actually the pop rivet, so of a washer. So literally there's no way for me to get my hand in from here to there to be able to bolt it down. This one I can always just remove and drill it out, so it's not a big train smash. As you can see over here, not a big train smash. It can focus, it can come out easily. There I try to weld, so what happens is this one I think is stainless steel and this is aluminium, so yeah, doesn't work. This stainless steel part is starting to melt, to melt, as you guys can see, but on the aluminium, nada. So my welder is an AC. I need a DC to weld on this crash bar over here. So, but it's in. There we go. They are there. They are tightened, tight, really tight. I mean, I don't even have a freaking single of play. I'm like really impressed with it though. Actually, oh, isn't it dry yet? No, it wasn't dry yet. Damn it. Anyway, I'll just fix that quickly up. So then, so then I can get my intercooler in, can bolt it down, all of those cool, awesome things. So yeah, let's quickly continue. So the intercooler, it is bolted down like a boss. And even when I checked it, I'm not joking to you guys, like the whole car is actually shaking. Like it's in there, like it's not planning to fall out. Even if you look at the clips, no clips. Where the hell is that part? Is it down here? Where is it? There, is it there? Anyway, yeah, let me see. I think it's there. Yeah, so it's actually like going into it. So it's holding it there at the bottom as well. And then over here. So what I did here was I put a nut on the inside, not on the outside, because yeah, I don't want to tighten it all the way there. This whole plate is just gonna like bend. So over here I can like kind of lock it in, so I know that it's locked properly. And the good thing about this is also is that I can like adjust it a little bit, you know. So when I did look over here, I'm gonna have to show you guys through this part. If it will focus, let's see. So you can see down there is a part of the aircon pipe, and you can see like it's kind of close. So before it was closer, but like now, I just want to see if I can. Come on. Yeah, like now I'm like moving it. It's still like far away from touching it. And if we go over here, so over here we obviously, let me turn on the flashlight quick. Why didn't I do that earlier? So it can go much further in. If you can even look like at the space here in the front. Remember I said I want to put some double-sided tape so that it doesn't like rub. It's not even needed to. I mean, like this thing ain't going anywhere. So yes, there we go. Now as the next part is going to have to do the pipes. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at this pipe. Also, I took the advantage now. I had a CB7 water meth injector. So there's my little injector there into my charge pipe. So I swapped it out of the CB5 already. So I removed the CB7. So I'm gonna keep this pipe. This pipe I wanna upgrade in the future. This is just absolutely horrible. So right over here is my pipe. So I'm just gonna go and connect it here. And I know this side is done. Then I'm gonna go and connect the other side. So give me a bit. So looking at it, so this part is going to go on over there. You can see this part is widened a little bit, so it's going to come in over there. So I just slipped off. So this is how this one's going to go into. Looks like it's going to be an easy fit. Over here is the beautiful clamps. Man, I've always wanted these ones. They're so freaking beautiful. I love the way like how I can tighten it. You can actually like tighten it really good. And like if you look at the angle of the screw and all that, they're like specifically made to hold it down properly, hold it down tight. So yeah, very glad I've got these. It's like a major upgrade compared to the stock clips that you get on the normal pipes. So anyway, let me quickly go ahead. Okay, so yeah, I was basically doing editing the video and saw that I actually missed some footage. So to give you guys an idea, there's the intercooler. This is literally what, like, I don't even know how long after I started recording, maybe like 3 months or something. So anyway, I never told you guys what I did here by this pipe over here. So you guys can see this pipe is closed with a cloth. So as you can see, here's the pipe going all the way into the turbo. It comes out over here, it goes around, and basically right over here it goes into the intercooler. So I also space all of these clamps that I can easily tighten them from underneath the car. For example, this one, if you look at that one over there, that one over there. So I basically do it just to make it easier for me to just check every now and again if everything is still tightened. Sorry guys, my irritating nose. So the reason why I put this cloth over here is there's very little tolerance compared to the pipe and this plastic cradle over here. Like, it's touching, I'm not even joking. Like, I can't get my finger in between it. So I do it so that every time when the pipe, as you go into boost and vacuum, as it like stretches and expands and everything, so it doesn't end up actually like damaging the pipe and cracking it. So I think the best thing would be is actually like a aluminium pipe welded over here specifically, where it can actually like clear this cradle a bit better. But it still works, it fits in all of that. It's just this pipe doesn't look that good. So anyway, it is in, looking good, massive, absolutely massive. As you guys can see,